The Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has been jailed for more than 2.5 years following his return to Moscow after being poisoned. His supporters have called for renewed protests. 9 US Democrats who will prosecute Donald Trump in his second impeachment trial next week say the former president committed an offence of historic proportions. Mr. Trump's lawyers say the trial is unconstitutional. A new study has found that the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine against coronavirus reduces transmission significantly, as well as protecting from severe disease. Researchers found the jab provided good protection even when there was a gap of 12 weeks between doses. And the British Second World War veteran Captain Sir Tom Moore, who raised tens of millions of dollars for health workers treating coronavirus patients, has died after testing positive for COVID.
Russia's homegrown coronavirus vaccine, known as Sputnik V, was 91.6% effective against symptomatic COVID-19 cases and offered complete protection against severe cases. That's according to preliminary results of a large-scale clinical trial published in the British medical journal The Lancet. The study did not address the shot's usefulness against new variants of the virus. Tesla says it's recalling about 135,000 of its Model S luxury sedans and Model X sport utility vehicles over touchscreen failures. The move comes after the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration requested a recall last month, saying the touchscreen failure in some models can affect functions such as defrosting, driver assistance, and turn signaling. And 2 FBI agents were killed and 3 were injured in a shooting while serving a warrant in South Florida this morning. The FBI says the agents were part of a team of investigators executing a search warrant in a case of violent crimes against children in the city of Sunrise. Officials say the gunman was also killed in the incident. We'll have a lot more coverage of the day's news on the WSJ's What's News podcast. You can add it to your playlist.
We start with the coronavirus here in Japan. The government has officially extended a state of emergency in Tokyo, Osaka, and 8 other prefectures. It was set to end on Sunday, but will now continue until March 7th.
I am very sorry that we can't lift the state of emergency in all areas. Because of everyone's cooperation, we are beginning to see a clear effect. So I ask you to once again persevere so that the decline in infections will solidify.
The current state of emergency covers 11 prefectures. It's been extended in all but one, Tochigi, where new cases have fallen and the healthcare situation has improved. The government says it may also be lifted earlier than March 7th in some prefectures if the situation improves. A state of emergency in Japan is less strict than in many Western countries. Bars and restaurants are asked to close by 8 p.m. and stop serving alcohol an hour earlier. Residents are asked to refrain from non-essential outings and work from home to reduce commuter footfall by 70%. Prefectural governors spoke to reporters about the measure being extended.
Medical workers are fighting the coronavirus day and night without a break. In return, we must reduce the number of new cases.
It's not necessary to wait for the full month. The state of emergency should be lifted when the situation improves.
The government has been planning to start vaccinations later this month. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Suga said he wants the date brought forward with an eye on mid-February. The plan is subject to the vaccine being approved for safety and effectiveness. Daily cases have fallen over the past week. There were 556 confirmed in Tokyo on Tuesday. The tally has been below 1,000 in the capital for 5 straight days. Nationwide, there were more than 2,300 new cases. 119 people died. Meanwhile, Suga apologized again for a scandal involving members of the main ruling Liberal Democratic Party. 3 lawmakers, including 1 former cabinet minister, have admitted to visiting bars late at night in Tokyo's Ginza Entertainment District during the state of emergency. They resigned from the party but remain Diet members.
Our party members should have never gone out to dinner late at night. I would like to express my sincerest apologies.
In a separate but not dissimilar development, a member of the LDP's junior coalition partner, Komeito, resigned from the Diet on Monday after admitting he visited a hostess bar late at night. Myanmar's military is stepping up its moves to consolidate power after detaining the country's civilian leaders, including Aung San Suu Kyi. Commander-in-Chief Min Aung Hlaing is now in charge. The ministers of defense, finance, and a number of others have been replaced. The military has declared a one-year state of emergency. It's promising that a free and fair election will be held, but it hasn't said when. Meanwhile, Aung San Suu Kyi's current situation is unclear. A National League for Democracy source says there is very limited information about her.
No one knows the exact condition regarding Aung San Suu Kyi, only that she's under house arrest in Naypyidaw. Aung San Suu Kyi knew a coup was likely, so she wrote a statement to the NLD president 1 or 2 days before the coup began.
The source says the NLD members in the capital Naypyidaw are under house arrest.
The military surrounded the dormitory at around midnight with soldiers and guards. The gate was also guarded by police and guards. I was able to reach my NLD colleagues, and they are okay.
The NLD issued a statement on Tuesday calling for the immediate release of the detainees, including Aung San Suu Kyi. We spoke to Tiha Tway in Yangon about the situation there a day after the coup.
Airport is closed. The road to airport is also closed, but the highway roads are still open and the people still can use it as usual. And the city, the Yangon, is strangely quiet.
He said the state-run media has stopped reporting any political or economic news.
The MRTV, state television, stopped its own program. It's now start broadcasting the copy of the Myawarri TV programs, news report as well. That's, Myawarri TV is a military TV channel. So MRTV, the state-owned media, is now broadcasting only the reports of the Myawarri military channel.
People on the street are very concerned.
They are really, afraid to speak in front of the camera, especially on the street. But they give me some comments in that, every morning, in the morning, they wake up with the confusing about their future.
Vietnam has long maintained a one-party system ruled by the Communist Party. At the just-completed Party Congress, which takes place every 5 years, Nguyen Phu Trong was elected to a third term as the country's top leader. Michishita Wataru in Hanoi tells us about what this means and what to expect in the future.
General Secretary Chong, who was elected to an unprecedented third term, outlined his goals at a news conference on Monday.
I'm determined to do my utmost. But whether I can achieve what I'm aiming for depends on whether the party and the people can come together.
Chong's leadership in the country's fight against corruption is a major factor behind his re-election. In Vietnam, a one-party state, corruption has become rampant in the push for economic development. A sense of crisis has spread within the party amid fears that it is losing the people's trust. General Secretary Chon demonstrated strength in implementing strict anti-corruption measures, earning a certain level of support among the public. The party has apparently decided to maintain the current system with Chon at the helm to foster this support. But some in the country are not happy, saying there was insufficient discussion on maintaining the current system and that this could be the source of future problems. On the diplomatic front, Vietnam is at loggerheads with China over a disputed area of the South China Sea. An expert said the issue will not be easy to resolve.
Vietnam has been putting pressure on China indirectly. But so far, these efforts have done little to deter China. Vietnam will have to switch to more effective measures from now on.
At the Congress, the Communist Party presented its economic target of attaining 6.5 to 7% growth annually for the next 5 years. It is clear that the party is keeping economic expansion as its top priority. In the new leadership lineup, Prime Minister Nguyen Xuan Phuc also retained his post. There will be no major policy changes in running the government. Chon's political skills will be put to the test. Michishita Wataru, NHK World, Hanoi.
South Korea's defense ministry has removed from its white paper a description of Japan as a partner. The biennial defense paper was released on Tuesday. It refers to Japan and South Korea as neighbors for cooperation for peace and prosperity in Northeast Asia and the world. The previous 2018 version called the two countries geographically and culturally close neighbors and partners for cooperation toward world peace and prosperity. The white paper also says Japan's tightening of export controls has been an obstacle to bilateral ties and vows to deal firmly with what it calls Japan's unilateral and arbitrary measures. Sources familiar with South Korea's defense ministry said it consulted with the foreign ministry and decided the word neighbor is the most appropriate term. Torrential rains have hammered parts of Chile, causing significant floods and leaving many people without electricity. Our meteorologist Sayaka Mori has the details.
Hello there. Chile is in the middle of summer, which is typically the driest time of the year. But Santiago experienced the heaviest rain in about 100 years, and floods took place in several places. Take a look at this video. Unusual summer rains have hit parts of central and southern Chile, leading to several landslides on Sunday. The rain began Friday afternoon and continued throughout the weekend. Thousands of people have lost power, but so far no deaths or missing people have been reported. Officials had to order evacuations for some of the villages due to the risk of landslides and road closures. Good news is that we will likely see a spell of dry weather. As you can see, no rain is in sight for many places of Chile. It looks like much of Argentina will remain dry, but as you can see, the capital city could see some rainfall for the next couple of days. So Buenos Aires could see a couple of days of rainy weather into Thursday. Asunción 30 degrees with a chance for thunderstorms, and Caracas 31 with sunny weather. Meanwhile, in North America, we have been talking about a very strong storm system called a nor'easter. It has been dumping heavy snowfall over the northeastern U.S. Central Park had 41 centimeters of snow, and parts of New Jersey experienced over 75 centimeters of snowfall. More snow is likely. We will continue to see strong winds and also snowy weather across the northeastern U.S. And some of the snowy weather will also spread to Atlantic Canada on your Tuesday. Snow has been piling up across northern Japan, but Tokyo experienced a sunny and warm day on Tuesday. The daytime high was more like late March. Northern Japan, though, had heavy snow. Wakkanai had 41 centimeters of snow. That's the